Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Kim and thank you for joining me for Vlogmas Day 13. So I am a reader and a knitter, and for this vlog I will be reading Day 13 of the short story advent calendar published by Hingston and Olsen. And I will also be unwrapping a mini skein put out by Polka Creek, and it's from their blanket club. And I'll be sharing you some of the progress I am making with that yarn. And I'm currently knitting Stephen West's blanket from his hybrid knitting collection. And this is Wednesday. So let's find out what we'll be reading and knitting today. So today's short story is titled Hamburger Baby by Melissa Broder. Don't think I've heard of Melissa Broder before. Oh, yes, I have. She has that book with the fish on it. She is the author of the novels Death Valley, Milk Fed, which I've also heard good things about, and The Pisces, the fish book. An essay collection and 5 books of poems, including Super Doom selected poems. She lives in Los Angeles. So she is a new to me author as well. I haven't read her, but I have heard of her. So very intrigued to get to her. And for Polka Creek, it's in this lovely tissue paper. And it looks like a nice cream or caramel color. And always so well wrapped. So this is actually, it's called Sand. So it's very much a warm advent calendar. I'm really appreciating it. So I am going to get reading and knitting, and I will report back when I have some progress. So I read Hamburger Baby, and I would have to say that this story is not for me. But let me tell you a little bit about the story to begin with. So it's told in the first person, and the title of the story is literally in the first sentence. So it opens up with, "I no longer regret giving birth to a hamburger." Now, the main character's name is never revealed. And in the first little part of the book, she's very concerned about the astrological sign of her hamburger baby, then the fact that she's just given birth to a hamburger, which I also think is interesting because kind of like the short story that I read a day or two ago about a woman who basically writes about, it's called Overtime by Hilma Woltzer. It was yesterday. And in the little bio, it said that she tends to write about dark parts of the American home, and that's what the story was about. I wonder how much of this author's writing has to deal with the theme of astrology, considering she has a book titled The Pisces. So that would be something interesting to discover in the future. Now, her husband's name is Kevin, and they are both upset that they've given birth to a hamburger instead of an actual baby. They take the hamburger home and they take care of the hamburger to the best of their abilities. And eventually the narrator starts to feel like she's missing out on the whole real baby experience. She looks at all the items that she picked out for the nursery and how much care and time she took into picking out those items, and those items all have to go back. So she's disappointed and she's not bonding with the hamburger. Now, we learn that the narrator's mother comes to visit and that they do not have a good relationship. The narrator sees her mother as vain and judgmental, and let me tell you, her visit did not go well on all parts, and that's probably the best written scene out of this little short story. Now, the narrator feels even more inadequate, and she actually starts to feel protective of her hamburger after her mother leaves because her mother said that the hamburger was terrible. Now, as time goes by, the relationship with Kevin starts breaking down, and she feels like she's married her mother. I won't give away the end of this book, but it didn't work for me. And in fact, the whole thing didn't work for me. The premise of giving birth to a hamburger, I couldn't make the correlation and understand what the author was trying to say, other than the fact that it just seems absurd and unrealistic. And the ending just takes that premise and expands upon it, and it didn't work. But I'm glad I read it. Not every story can be a 5-star story, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. You never know. But on the whole part, I am really enjoying this collection, as I did last year as well. Now, as for knitting, I will show you my progress. I've finished the first 2 rows, and you will see the navy at the top, which was yesterday's color. So I'm going to be continuing on with a 3rd stripe, and it's continuing to grow and get bigger, and I am enjoying this knit. So that's it for Vlogmas Day 13. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're inclined, please like and subscribe, and comment in the description box below. What are you knitting? How are you doing halfway through December? Are you looking forward to some holiday time? I've also started a Patreon account if you are interested in putting a tip in the tip jar. And thank you so much for spending your time with me. I really appreciate it. I have so much fun doing these little videos. And I hope to see you for Vlogmas Day 14. Bye.